Chevra, welcome to the Stealing Torah, Melava Malka, as we have Samson joining us. Oh, maybe let me just turn the sound off. Amazing, with so many people. This is Gavaldic. Anyways, just to start off, Chevra, can you hear us? Abigail, can you hear us? Okay, we're good. No, I lowered the volume so we can't hear them. Anyways, just something that crossed my mind. I had all my close friends over from the past. They're all here on summer programs slash internships. And I just knew it was going to be the best Shabbas ever. And it was. Friday night davening, as we're all singing. I was closing my eyes, we're all closing. A ladder. I saw a ladder from the highest place in the heavens to where we were standing and davening. It was unbelievable. And we all know on Shabbas, there is that direct ladder, that direct connection to Hashem and us. Like we're in the Beit HaMikdash with Hashem. And I just knew at that point, and throughout Shabbos, we were going to be climbing that ladder. Hashem will be there with us on that ladder. You know what's amazing? How we're all here at Melava Malka, because we don't want to separate ourselves from Hashem, from that ladder. And we all know the weekday full can help us feel that disconnect. But we just want it. We want to feel vagueness with Hashem. We can't help it. So that's why the Malava Malka is so important in general, but also to me and to us tonight. Really just to continue Shabbos, to really be in the highest place of heaven with Hashem on that ladder. So, have
I was thinking that after such a powerful Shabbos, when you feel so connected, when you know, sometimes people say, how do you know this is real? How do you know this is real? How do you know that this is the path you're supposed to take? And the beauty is, it's not always going to be clear in your eyes, but there are times that you know, and there's no way to express it. You just know, and you shut off everything. You shut off all the blockage, and you just let it in. You just internalize the fact that you've chosen to be an Evidential. You've chosen to live the most pure life, and you feel it. Singing a niggin, maybe you have a good davening, a good piece of Torah, a good talk with a friend. You just feel Hashem so close, and you have to bottle those moments. And when you need to open up that bottle and take another sip, you remember tap into what you felt. Because it's not always going to feel the same way. And this reminds me of an unbelievably powerful story that the Gemara in the days brings down, and it's truly life-changing. It tells us that Amar Rabbi at the time, we all know Moshe went up to Sinai, right? But what was going on? It's such a powerful moment. What did Moshe see when he went up there? So it comes to Gemara and it tells us Moshe went up to Lamar. He went up, he climbed up on the way to receive the most precious gift. And by the way, Moshe Rabbeinu was 80 years old. 80. You might think, whatever, I already missed out on some years. 80 years old is when Moshe got the Torah. It's never too late. It's never too late. So he goes up there and he sees Hashem, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is tying crowns on each of the osios in the Torah, on each of the letters, tying these crowns. And Moshe asks Hashem, what are you doing? Born Shalom. What is causing you to do this? And Hashem says back, there's going to be a man in the future, after many generations. And this man, his name is Akiva ben Yosef, the great Rabbi Akiva. And what's he going to do? He's going to learn out from each of those crowns on the letters, the Tilin Shalachos, mounds upon mounds of Torah, Allah. Just from, not even a letter, from a crown on the letter. Shows the depth of every one letter of Torah. How much it does for a person, just one letter of Torah. There's so much depth. And that's why Hashem was more or less forced to do this in a sense. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, wow, let me see this man. Hashem, show me who this man is. So this is the only Gemara that has time travel. Hashem says, right, no. He sent him in the future. And he goes and he sits in the Shir of Rabbi Akiva, the great Rabbi Akiva Shir. He sits 8 rows back. And he's sitting there and he has no idea what's flying. The Gemara says Moshe did not understand the Torah, what was going on. And touched his cocoa. He lost his strength. Moshe was so sad. How do I not understand the Torah? How can I not possibly, I'm the one who's giving the Torah to the Jews. How do I not understand the Torah? Until one of the students said to Rabbi Akiva, the great Rabbi, how do you know that this is true? How do you know what you're saying is true? And Rabbi Akiva answered back, it's Allah of Moshe in Sinai. It's given on our Sinai. That's how it was true. And Moshe was settled. He got back his strength. He realized, okay, I might not understand everything, but it still comes to the Torah. There's so much depth. I'm not going to understand everything because you're trying to understand infinity. However much you know, it's understanding infinity. So yeah, you might see Gdol Mador, people that know all shots, might feel weak and sad. Why is it fail? They're so great. No, they also only know so much of the infinity. So all you ask is to just hold your Lord. Do as much as you can of infinity to internalize infinity. Fine. So what happens is Moshe goes back to Hashem after seeing this. And he says something unbelievable. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's someone as great as Rabbi Akiva, and you're giving the Torah to me? Why are you giving the Torah to me? Give it to Rabbi Akiva. And these are the most special words. And I try to put myself into it every single day. Hashem answered back, Shtok, kach alav v'machshava lefanav. He said to Moshe, silence. This is what has risen through my mind. This is what I felt should be. Shtok, no questions. Moshe made a question to Hashem, and Hashem said, Shtok. There's no question. And then Moshe said further, fine. You showed me this great Rabbi Akiva's Torah. Show me the schar. Show me what reward a person gets for reaching such tremendous level in Torah. So Hashem sent him back, sent him time traveling, and what happened was Moshe saw that Rabbi Akiva was getting his flesh laid, his flesh on hot irons by the Romans. And Hashem was, how is this possible? Such a thing happened, such a tzaddik. So Moshe stepped back to Hashem, questioned Hashem's ways and said, Zu Torah, Zu Tzchara? This is Torah, this is the reward? What's going on here? How is that possible? And again, Hashem answered back, Shtok, Kach Olav Machshav L'Fanav. Silence. This is what I felt should be. And Gabe, I need to internalize this. I would need to constantly say to myself, Shtok, don't have all these thoughts, oh yeah, I think I should do this. Why is Hashem doing this to me? It's not fair. Oh, I deserve this. Shtok, silence. Hashem thought this should be, that's it. Even Moshe Rabbeinu questions, but at the end of the day, Hashem answers back, Shtok. Whether or not we understand why, whether or not it makes sense, whether or not we understand why we should be doing this, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we trust Hashem because we're down here and He's up there. He sees the full picture. And when we constantly have these words flowing through our mind, remembering, just Shtok, just silence, just listen. Trust Hashem, trust the Creator of the world. Tap into the Torah. Tap into what's on a silver platter for you. Take it. And when you're able to do that, when you're able to learn and try to tap into infinity, then you'll have that internalized, you'll live it, and you'll realize, wow, I might as well just trust the one above. I might as well not have all these thoughts. Oh, if I do this, then I'll get that job. Or if I maybe take away this morning season and I focus on getting this. No, at the end of the day, we have to tell ourselves always, first put Hashem first and He'll put you first. You make Hashem a priority, He'll make you a priority. If you let it.
honest right now? Am I butchering this or am I doing something?
you're killing it.
You're good? It's
Killing
okay.
it, bro.
It's like, I can't hear if I'm doing like the right thing.
You're killing it.
Is it songboard or song?
Yeah.
Whatever you wanna do, bro.
I need a little bit of time.
Alright, quick,
Get my,
quick
get my
class.
voice.
Perfect song. Like,
Yeah.
we're
no,
certain,
so-
it's like, that's it. Like, no, just trust the master. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You put it as well.
Also, make sure that the door opens for someone.
Quick
Yeah.
talk. So this is sponsored by Ditcher today, but I think a week ago we were morning Tisha B'Av, and now we're back right now. Just fucking back about second. So there's a king, right? And that king had a son. Grew up his whole life. They were best friends, best relationship ever. And then the Shema. And then slowly but surely the kid, the teenage years, started acting out, doing things that were just like so against the king wanted. The whole kingdom was freaking out. I didn't know what to do because it's such a busha to the entire Malava. So this kid's acting out. So the king decides, you know what? I'm gonna exile my own son. So tough, I'm gonna exile him. Because he's not behaving the way he should be. They sent him to the outskirts of the land. Like mountains, just like farmland. They didn't even know what it is. It's the outskirts of this country. And the kids never lifted it, never lifted a feather, never tied up on shoes. Everything was done for his son. He's coming from the palace. But he ends up, he's living in this like wasteland, just like bushels of weed everywhere, like nothing good, like nothing like he's used to. And then he's just sitting there. So time goes by, and every day gets a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier. And before he knows it, he's kind of starts liking that lifestyle. He takes off the royal clothes, starts putting on some trousers, doing whatever. He's vibing, he's chilling. He's doing this whole day by day, he's growing more and more accustomed to this. 2 months later, he's loving it. This is a new life. He's going everything he knew before the entire kingship isn't care anymore. All he's doing everything. He's farming, hanging out with these guys, like just like chewing on like weed sticks, like doing whatever. It's like full farmer. And months go by, years go by, and the king decides it's time to bring his son home. So he dresses up one of the servants of the king, and he goes outside the farm, and they're parading outside, saying, "This is what's going to happen to someone who the king wants to give honor to." And then the king's son doesn't even, the prince doesn't even look. The next day they're there. Months and months go by, go by, and the kid never even pays attention. He's so far removed, he loves his life. Where he is now, he doesn't even care. He's sitting one day on the bench, chilling. Once again, he's got a toothpick in his mouth, wearing overalls. And he hears, like, again, after months of them doing the same thing. This is what happens to someone who the king honors. For some reason, it just like hits him so hard, he breaks down, runs all the way back to the kingship, and the king takes him back, and then he saw how sincere he was. Saw in the post that the Ula doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. And I think a lot of times when the ship comes, we got the post out people thing, and then that's when it comes to me, bring it down. I think the story is so just like relevant. A lot of times we get stuck in the life that we don't have the ship. We don't have this like this ultimate connection with Hashem. And we get so caught up in what we're doing, we kind of forget and like this lifestyle. You know, like whatever, and you want to down from the ship, and everyone's like, oh, but hesitate. It's like if it actually comes, like, oh, my life changes. You have to recognize, like, we just got stuck outside the kingship. We got so used to that, but in reality, the kingship has all the tools and everything we need, right? And I think being at Fisher Boat a week ago, now we're here again. When I was wrong, we were saying the exact story, and now we're singing. I think this is exactly what Hashem wants us to do to bring that good through us. Because yes, we were sad, but I saw the Dr. continues that yearning for Gula Fisher is not about you. It's like it's hard to mourn something you don't know. But what's the mourning we're doing? That's more yearning. The yearning is what you wish you had. Yeah, like you're sad when someone dies, sad when someone passes, but we're yearning for things you don't have. And we have to recognize, even if we can't understand whatever it is, that connection to God, that we're so close, we have this mission, that this Midrash, Sheikh's here, everything's unreal. Like, well, we can't, like, maybe like understand that, it has to be a yearning of like complete divinity, that it's like the best thing in the world. And I think yearning only comes to fruition when you want it enough. I think just being Jack and everyone, like most of this, whatever, I think it's beautiful as well Shabbos and everything, and just to see what we're doing now, it's like, I think it's exactly what we should be doing, because by yearning it, you're yearning for something that's amazing, you're yearning for something that's not. And the only thing that we can do is try to tap into what might come. I think by singing, dancing, having a good time, that's exactly what tap into that glue and bring it through us. So, for Shem, it's definitely for everyone that not only can we see the glue love, but we can actually bring it through us and do things like this. We're tapping into the goodness of what will come and starting to light the fire now. For Shem, continues to
bring it into our hearts to feel it, right? It's not the also mikdash v'shachar b'tocho, and that I dwell within the sanctuary they built for me. It's the also the mikdash v'shachar b'tocho. I'm going to dwell within those who take the effort to build and to try to go above and beyond. Those who put in the work, I'm going to dwell within them. It's not within the sanctuary. The sanctuary is obviously holy and very important, and you put a lot of emphasis on how we build the mishkan and the measurements and the kalim and the materials. But at the end of the day, it's the effort that we put in. It's the builders themselves that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to rest in their hearts, and that's what we have to understand sometimes. It's like it's there's a means to an end, but at the end of the day, it's like it's really if you put in the effort, then it's not at the end that you're going to feel it. It's the process to get there. It's the journey uphill, not the view that's waiting at the top. It's the process, right? The only reason why anything ever feels good or you feel completed or you feel like you accomplished something is because of the process. If someone just gave you something, you wouldn't feel it because you didn't work for it. It wasn't earned. At the end of the day, we want to put in the effort, even if you won't feel, in the beginning, eventually, hopefully, we'll be zoche that we'll feel the dwelling in our hearts. Yeah, I was building off the song.
Oh, you're building off that.
Building off that.
connected to anything you've spoken about recently. It's a powerful idea and an important one for the days we're living in. Which is that a new up-and-coming tailor is chosen, brought before the king to tailor in the freshest robes in the kingdom, the nicest new outfit, the most mechubad. And the tailor works day and night, day and night. He comes in holding up a hanger. And this is a massively respected tailor. No one questions this tailor. He holds up a hanger. In the royal court, everyone's looking. And he says, "Look, my king, look what I designed for you." And what's on the hanger? Absolutely nothing. Nobody sees anything. But this is the most respected tailor in the kingdom. And what the king's going to say before everyone, he doesn't see anything on the hanger. This tailor never wrong, never makes mistakes. He says that there's something there, and that only the highest of the high, the most important people can see it. Of course the king can see it. So the king says, "Wow, that's beautiful. That's the nicest robe I've ever seen." And the next day, there's planned a royal parade for the king to show off his new robe, the new fit, the new colors of the kingdom. And so he goes into his private quarters, and he's sitting with the acts, and he puts on nothing. He's wearing his underwear, and that's how he heads out to town. And who's going to tell the king that he's wearing underwear? Who is the guy who's willing to get his head cut off to stand up and say, "Does nobody see what's going on here?" And so the citizens come out to the parade, and the king is walking down, and everyone's acting like nothing's wrong, complimenting the colors of the royal robes, celebrating. And the king himself, walking around town, the most respected person in the entire land, in his underwear. Until one small child tugs on his father's sleeve and says, "Tati, the king's in his underwear. The king is in his underwear, Tati." And the father tries to silence somebody, keeps saying, "The king is in his underwear," and people are starting to hear. And to his luck, the parade passes on. But there's much to be learned from that small child. We don't have a lack of education in our generation. We don't lack the knowledge of what's right and wrong. People are there to guide us every step of the way. What lacks by most of the chevra is boldness. Boldness to see what's wrong, or to see what needs to be right, and take the step and do it. Boldness to understand we have our goals and we have our aspirations and we have our current mitzvot, our current reality, and we need to make that leap and seize what we know is correct. Be that, drastically changing your friend group to achieve, higher, more spiritual things. Be that to leave America, feel that Israel is your calling. Be that to learn night and day. I think that's the correct thing to do. But what we need, all of us, is to see what's wrong and not be afraid to declare it. Not be afraid to say, "That's the king's in his underwear." And I want to be the one to say it. We should all be bold.
it off for one more song.
Play idea. I was saying this the other night, and I just love this idea. And I was saying it with Christine, I want to say, and maybe Gabriel also. That Moshe goes up to get the Torah. Moshe goes up to get the Torah, and he gets the luchos. And Bnei Israel, they do fedek all about. And what does Kadosh Baruch Hu say? Sees the eagle. What are his words? Am Sheor. Calls Bnei Israel Am Sheor. Probably the lowest moment in Jewish history. And what does Kadosh Baruch Hu say? We're an Am Sheor. I always found it interesting. Is that a blessing? Is that a curse? We're an Am Sheor. We're stubborn-necked people. What does that mean? So the way I took it is, it could be both. On one hand, we're stubborn. So when we do bad things and we get stuck in our ways, we're stubborn. It's tough for us to break them.
Submit.
So now we're.
So Moshe Rabbeinu comes to defend the Jewish people when the Kadosh Baruch Hu says that, and I'm Sheoref, and I want to destroy them. And how does he defend them? What does he say? What's his great defense to the accusations of Am Sheoref? He says, Kadosh Baruch Hu, don't destroy them. Ki Am Sheoref. Exact reason that they understand. Charlie is Moshe Rabbeinu. Go, keep going.
We're an Am Sheoref. And it's not so easy to take us out. We survived millions of years, thousands of years, just because we won't give in. And no matter what we have going on, these words, they always ring true. I was starting to laugh, I knew
You figure out and then you trade it, exactly what you're saying, like, why does the answer I'm sure because every year it can be the tough where, well, yes, we can be stubborn for bad things. I would agree with you for some purpose, bro.
And it's crazy that what do they say about like I mean, mostly it's Israelis more. What do they say about the Jewish country? What do you see in Israelis? The most stubborn.